you all for kind of jumping in, knowing the tradition of what it is that we do, and for United Way being the lead on having this day of caring and sharing. And this actually began in Pittsburgh with wanting to give back to the community, doing things for our agencies, because our agencies can ill afford to provide the maintenance costs when they have a facility, and they're just barely doing operations, let alone having the money to do all the painting and the maintenance upkeep for their facilities. So when, and I'll turn over to Ed, because Ed actually has been a part of the initiation of this from day one before my arrival on the scene with United Way.
Well, historically, this is an amazing occasion, and I can't believe it's 17 years already. And this goes back, I guess, when I had first moved back here, and Let's Beautify Cumberland was getting its grassroots literally underway, and some of us that were charter members met with Kathy Getty, who was then, I think, the chairwoman of the board of the County United Way. And we had a meeting with Dr. Mark, an internist, and this idea came forward, and thought, well, we could do this. We saw the need. We saw the need for supporting the County United Way financially, because it does a phenomenal amount of good for this entire community. We saw a need to bring the community back to life and create some vibrancy. And it's just grown tremendously. It's grown tremendously. And so it's great to partner with the United Way. This is the forerunner, though, is for the United Way. The focus is on the United Way, and let's kick off the campaign. Not kick off the campaign. Let's conclude one campaign and make sure that reaches its goal, at the same time bringing all the agencies together that it serves. And the end result was Let's Beautify Cumberland would supply some manpower to supervise some projects, and that's still underway in many ways, but the manpower is created by the County United Way and the agencies that they bring forward. So Jenny and I are co-chairs of Let's Beautify Cumberland. Nicole Wagner is the city councilwoman who's played a key part. You know, Butch Hendershot and Paul Yokas, I want to give them great credit for over the years of pulling that all together and maintaining that. In fact, I see in the picture in the paper today, Paul's now working with LaVale Civic Association, and you know, Butch is retired, and I think is just going to enjoy seeing this continue to carry on. So it's a great program. We brag about it. I brag about it to friends. In fact, I was at an event yesterday in Bethesda and said I had to be back for a press conference, and I thought I'll drop a name there, and they said, what's going on? And it's with great pride. You talk about a community of our size coming together, pulling itself up by its bootstraps, and making good things happen. And there's some good things that we'll talk about. I don't know, we're going to do a celebration at the end. But Mary Beth has been absolutely wonderful to work with. Michelle, kudos to you for all the years. You should be up here, and kudos to you and Linda Toohey and your staff over the years that have maintained sanity and keep on coming back for more. So more good work, because at the end of the day, you'll see people riding around looking at all the projects that they completed and feeling good about it. It's a feel-good day.
Well, and going back to something that Ed mentioned about kick off the campaign, because originally this event has been in September, which was the kickoff of the United Way campaign. And because of the collaboration with Let's Beautify and all that Ed has done with downtown and bringing people and visitors to the community, that's when we talked about moving it, as well as some staff issues, because at one point we were doing 4 of these events in our office. We actually had 2 in Allegany County and 1 in Mineral and 1 in Garrett County. And because of a 3-person staff, we just weren't able to manage things. And you recall the last few years, we had reached over 750 volunteers, which actually became so unmanageable, but we were moving away from our purpose, and our purpose being getting back to the really substantial projects that our sponsor actually, Columbia Gas, reminded us that we would really like to see you get back to some really nitty-gritty projects for the benefit of the agencies. So, you know, last year we kind of regrouped a little bit, trying to limit it to a manageable number, because Michelle manages all of this. She handles the project, she handles all the volunteers, and you know, without her, us would be able to do this event at all. So we give, a tremendous amount of credit to Michelle and all of her organization for this. But as Ed mentioned, and as you see by our campaign goal, this has been a tough year economically in the community for all nonprofits, and all of my partners here can attest to that as far as how difficult it has been raising money this year. So when Ginny and Ed and I and Michelle met several weeks ago, we talked about the struggle with the campaign and seeing how we could use this not only as an event for the agencies, because the campaign is all about providing programs and services to the community and helping those in need, and trying to bring our goal to fruition so that our programs and services can be supported. So we are going to have a celebration for the spirit of giving, and that it will be a culmination event thanks to the generosity of Ed and his brother with helping us here at this facility to use this facility on the evening of the Day of Caring on May 9th. So it will begin at 5 o'clock. We're going to have a celebration of starting off with a family event from 5 to 6. We're going to have Mountain Ridge Jazz Orchestra coming and to perform for the community. It's going to be open to the public, come one, come all. And then from, is it 6 to 9 or 6 to 8? 6 to 8?
6 to 9.
6 to 9. We're having the Chinese Bandits here to play. And so we're asking that, people will give a free will donation so that we can add that to the campaign, so that we can hopefully bring things to fruition to be able to provide the programs and services. Because for those of you who don't know, we are touching the lives of about 25,000 people of the 70,000 in Allegany County. And that's about 1 out of 3 people who are receiving some kind of program or service. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's, the critical needs, but most of it is. It's food, it's prescription assistance, it's mentoring, it's leadership opportunities, but it's for everyone and anyone who needs it. So we do have a lot of wonderful programs that are being supported in this community, and it's because of you, the community, that we are able to do this.
And Friday, it is a big celebration day. And Fridays in the springtime, we've always been downtown, and we're kind of spinning off on that with the Friday to do something in the evening. We've never done that before. We've always had the Friday afternoon luncheon, and then people went back, either back and finished the project or went home and came back and looked and saw what they did that night. But they never got a chance to celebrate, and it was just the workers, so we decided to involve the entire community with this. And my brother Tim Mullaney is the one who had the vision with this building years ago to buy it, refurbish it. It's being well marketed and well run, and so I thank him for allowing us to have that event here. We thought young people's band, as Mary Beth said, with the Mountain Ridge Jazz Orchestra. They are a phenomenal group of young people, and one of the perennial favorites for the mixed bag of population of the community is the Chinese Bandits. So we've got something for everybody. And as Mary Beth, and I'll reiterate, it's a free event, but we're certainly going to ask people to reach into their pocket and help get some more red paint on this goal, and to make it happen. And no donations too small. And it's just so I think it's going to be one of those feel-good evenings that people can share with. And the Downtown Cumberland Business Association is also helping us involved with this and so forth, and having the event. Annette Wolford has done a phenomenal job in this building and with the Downtown Cumberland Business Association. So Annette, we appreciate your help that night coming in here too. So we want everybody to come down and enjoy the music, but enjoy the friendship, but also think about the purpose of what this was all about. And celebration of people working together goes a long way. And
when Em said about no donation is too small, we have used the mantra for the last few years for the power of a dollar. Every dollar is significant, and because of your dollar donations, we can actually leverage those dollars into a lot more dollars. Kristen's here from Associated Charities, and I can use the prescription assistance program as a prime example of leveraging those dollars, because we can take about $85,000–$90,000 of donations, and because of the partnerships that Kristen has developed over the years with pharmaceutical companies and with all the various different partnerships that she has garnered, we are able to turn that into about $3 million worth of medications coming into this community, and that's phenomenal. And that's the power of your dollar, and that's really significant, and that's what it is that we want people to realize and to remember about why it is that you give to United Way, because of those partnerships and the leveraging opportunity that we have. So,
and the power of the press is phenomenal. Thank to the radio, media, the printed and the printed materials and the radio folks for coming in to help get this word out. A lot of work goes ahead in the background to make this day happen. I mean, Michelle could probably tell you the endless hours that she spent on putting projects together. I'm going to ask Jenny to say a couple words because she's done some things behind the scenes. Here's a prime example. There's some people behind the scenes that do things you never hear about a whole lot. I'm driving back across the bridge from Ridgely the other day, and it's a cold, winter, blustery day. And who's out there? Jenny Decker and somebody else digging up flowers, putting in flowers, or digging up weeds, and doing some preparation work. So Jenny, what do you see LBC doing for some prep work?
Well, what I wanted to mention, I'm very impressed with the groups and organizations that come together for this day. If you go over the schedule and see all of the volunteers that come out to work that day, like you said, at one time 750, and from many different organizations in the area. The garden club, I'm a gardener, so the garden club every year buys seeds. We take them out to WCI, who has a greenhouse out there, and they grow flowers for us. Normally over the last few years, they've given us about 700 flowers to plant on this day. So that's what impresses me, is all the organizations and the groups that come together. It's really a community day.
Has everyone gotten a list of the projects? Michelle, you've already handed that out. And you'll see by the list of the projects, which, mentioning about the programs that Let's Beautify Cumberland and Ginny and the neighborhood associations have done. And we want to partner with those events because United Way is a part of the fabric of the community. So that's why it is that we want organizations to be in partnership with us. And you'll see represented on that sheet, Michelle can tell you that before she even had the projects listed and out, how many of them, Michelle, did you already have filled? I mean, when you were sending? So this is an event that people look forward to every year, and so they actually are signing up ahead of time before they even really know what the projects are that they have, to choose. So we're proud of this event, and we're proud of the community, and we thank all of you who are in partnership with us. And I was so thrilled that Ed mentioned having the celebration evening, because it's not something that we had done, but we kind of missed the gathering at lunchtime. But what we found at lunchtime, and if you remember when we were down on the mall, and it was a wonderful scene, seeing 700 people gathered on the mall when we were doing lunch, but it got out of hand. Jackie Hyatt, who has done a fabulous job from CBiz with the food, she finally said to us, she said, I don't know if I could manage this any longer. We ended up moving from downtown to the hot stove bingo hall down on Industrial Boulevard, and actually the last year we were there, we filled the hall. And so we thought, well, how are we going to manage this? Well, then last year when we were reducing the numbers of volunteers, we had an opportunity, and thanks to, once again, to Michelle's daughter, who is a manager for Subway in Frostburg and LaVale, she offered us, a fabulous discount on boxed lunches, so that volunteers are able to stay at the programs or at their projects longer during the day, and then they can come and pick up their boxed lunches and take them back to the site. And so that's another partnership that we've had, who are giving back to the community and to the organizations as well. So we're really thrilled to have that in addition.